You got a preview? I got one now.
Yeah, I got one.
All right, going live.
Live.
Top time episode. I don't even know, dude.
We'll see how many jokers we can attract here.
All right, we are officially live. What's up, everybody?
Yo.
Let's see who's going to be joining us. How's everyone doing tonight? Got our guest known as RK, which is construction. But this is our good friend Ryan.
RK construction was taken. I literally had to take const.
Oh God!
Cunts.
I was so excited once when I was able to secure mine. I was like, okay, I got it all up in one. It was like that, Gmail, everything. So that way I was like, okay, this is mine now, damn it.
Yeah.
Well, brother.
RK is a popular name. Actually, I filed my LLC as RKCONST LLC. So.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, give us a little breakdown of who you are, and just so in case anybody doesn't know yet.
Sure. Okay, so first off, my name is Ryan. I own RK Construction. I am based in Asheville, North Carolina. I primarily do bathroom and kitchen remodels, but really I tell people anything that touches tile is in my wheelhouse. So, yeah, it's primarily been bathroom and kitchen remodels. And I'm coming up on 4 years next week of starting my company. So I'll call it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, relatively new. This was a COVID deal.
Lots of
yes. So this my company, I guess I sprung up out of necessity. I got laid off during COVID. I had sat behind a desk in a sales role for about 13 years. I was a headhunter in construction.
Okay.
But prior to that, and actually what brought me out to North Carolina was working in construction. So, yeah, that's a little bit of an overview, but I'll get into this a little bit more if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead. How long have you been into the actual construction field? I know you said you were headhunting, but like, how long have you been tiling? What's your kind of just a little elaborate a little more on the story?
Yeah, so going way back, I got into construction as a kid. I kind of joked that my dad sold me into child labor slavery. There was a guy that in our church who wanted to build his own house. He was an electrician, but he just had done well for himself and had a bunch of cash and just wanted to stop working and build a house. So my dad was like, take him and show him anything and everything. He lived real close to where we were, so I literally would ride my bike down the road and show up at his house. But he, I'm trying to think what year that was. That was probably like 96-ish, 96, 97, somewhere in there. I showed up the first day, and he said, I just bought a backhoe, and we need to learn how to drive it, and then we're going to dig footers today. So that was day one, and I stuck with him for 4 years, and the two of us built the house from bottom to top. So we learned a lot. We learned a lot together, honestly. But like he kind of maybe like me, just had a lot of construction experience, kind of knew what he was doing. But really, everything from running machinery to learning how to drive, run a shovel, to pouring concrete and finishing concrete all the way up. So my first tile job actually was on that house. I was probably 13 or 14, and my younger brother was with us, and he was 12. And this guy was, he might have been 45 at the time. Like, he wasn't that old. But he was like, I'm not getting on my knees to lay tile, so I'm just going to show you what you need to do. And he sat there and mixed mortar in a wheelbarrow for us, and me and my brother set 1,800 square feet of 12 by 12 tile. Yeah,
that is awesome.
It still stands to this day. Actually, I know that floor is still there. So.
Oh, that's exciting! Did it right then. Yeah. That's perfect.
I was gonna say I'd hate to tear it up because honestly, I probably know what it looks like underneath, and it's like all the ones that we tear out now. But so that was like my first foray into construction. So I built that house with him for 4 years. We built a pole barn, and then right around the time I turned 16, my parents were building a house, and their general contractor walked out on them. So from kind of like the drywall stage onward, myself and a bunch of guys from church, I will say my dad too. My dad painted. I love my dad to death. He literally is a rocket scientist, works for a NASA contractor, but he's not a construction guy at all. So anyway, me and some people from church and some friends, we basically finished out the rest of my parents' house. And then when I went to, I graduated high school early, and I went to school for website development back in 2000, 2001, somewhere in there. And at the time, I was still working. I was working a little bit of construction here and there. I was working for a guy that had like an airplane hangar, and I ended up putting a bathroom in the airplane hangar for him. But I went to college, and some, like kind of like during college years, I was just doing on and off construction here and there, some projects for people, and I was looking for a summer job. I decided I didn't want to do web development. I was like, that first of all, during that time, that was during 2001, I think, and web development was moving so fast. I took classes in the spring semester. I took off the summer. I went back in the fall, and my instructor was like, "Hey, all the classes that you took, all the programs that you learned, all the languages and everything, they're all outdated already. Like, you got to retake all these classes."
Damn.
Yeah, I was just like, well, I don't know if I just don't know. So anyway, I kind of bounced back into a little bit of construction work. I was working at ski resorts because I was raised in Utah. So I worked ski resorts for a few years, actually a lot of years. I was a snowboard instructor for a while, and then I was in the ski shop for a little while. And then I was saving up money. I needed to save up money to buy a guitar. Is honestly the way it went. So I was living at my parents'. I was in college. And I needed a summer job, and my sister called me and said, "Hey, why don't you come out to North Carolina? You can work with me." She worked for her father-in-law's construction company, which was a residential developer here in Asheville. So I was like, sure, free room and board. So I moved out to North Carolina that summer. That was 2006, I think. And I was the assistant superintendent for a residential developer. So I built probably 10 or 12 single family homes, and then at the towards the end of the summer I had taken on some townhomes and was building about 20 or 30 townhomes. And then at the end of the summer they offered me a full-time job, and I wasn't really thinking about it, but then they were like, "We'll pay you like 4 times what you were making over the summer." And I was like, well, okay. So anyway, I think I was in college 2 years. I ended up switching it to online and finishing my degree online, but that allowed me to move here to North Carolina. Ended up getting married a year later. And I worked for that construction company for about 18 months. And in that time, I was the safety officer and handled all the warranty. And then I was a project manager for our custom home division. So I was building 2,500 square foot homes as a project manager. And that lasted, like I say, maybe 2 years, just under. And then in 2008, the bottom fell out of the whole world, and the rest is history, as they say. So I got laid off. I got laid off from that job in late 2007 when honestly, everything was just going completely sideways at that point. And I ended up going to work for a church doing building maintenance for about 3 months. And then my degree is in technical sales, and I had somebody that I knew was in recruiting, and they were like, "Hey, you should come and just, do recruiting for a while." And I was like, I have no idea what that even is. I was like, I'd never even heard of that as a profession. But so, and I don't know if you know what recruiting is, but it's also known by headhunting. And so anyway, in Asheville, there's a company that's the largest search firm in the construction industry in the country that's in one office. So there's over 100 people. But the idea is that all by phone and by internet research, and literally at the time, Yellow Pages. I would get Yellow Pages and phone books and stuff, and it's all cold calling. So I was just cold calling construction project managers and superintendents in Texas, and helping them find jobs. So
wow,
telemarketer.
Yeah, I literally had a phone strapped to my head, sitting at a desk, And I did that for 13 years.
Holy crap.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'm in my third career now, back in construction. But
How do you like it? How's it feel to be
You like
back?
it your hands dirty, or what was it? What's your favorite?
say that again.
What's your favorite now? Is getting your hands dirty kind of where you want to be right now, or is it eventually transitioning back into the desk, or what are you thinking?
You know what? There's a lot that I liked about working in the corporate world. There's a ladder to be climbed, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. I really did. I'm a people person, and I have a degree in sales. And what aspects of that job that I really liked was towards the end, I was working for a company that was it was a public accounting firm, and they just they gave me opportunities to go and speak. So I mean, I was speaking at a lot of conferences, similar to things like coverings, just big industry events and stuff like that, and traveling around a little bit, doing a lot of business development, being in clients' offices. And I was working in the C-suite, so dealing with president and CEO and filling those roles within these companies. So a lot of the positions that I was filling were at the executive level. So I liked those aspects of it. Just I liked being in that world and the amount of professional development that was there. But I've always liked working with my hands, and I've always liked construction. And so I found myself constantly ripping apart my house and just doing stuff on the side for myself and for friends. So like I bought my first house in 2010, and we bought it in foreclosure, and there was like 2 feet of water in the crawl space and mold and 4 layers of wallpaper and all that stuff. And I was in my senior year of school, but I was working in recruiting, and me and my wife just tore the whole thing apart and did everything ourselves. So like I was always looking for ways that I was working with my hands and being in construction work. But now that I'm in it, honestly, I like it. I've always liked working with my hands. I like the creative side of this now, which I think is how I kind of landed in tile. To be honest with you, I didn't really want to be in tile. In fact, if I can be so bold, I had one project about 3 years ago where I was like, I hate tile. I absolutely hate tile. And I've only done like 2 projects. And I literally, in the middle of the project, I just called the guy that I met at the tile store, and I was like, "Dude, will you come and finish this? Because I'm out. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." And that was right at the beginning of like my Instagram, and I had found Shannon and Misha and Andrew, and Jeff from Home Renovision up in Canada, and I was just watching them on Instagram and interacting with them and like talking to them. And I was like, I think I can do that. Like, I think, like, first off, they're using tools that I don't have, and they're doing it in a way that it's creative, and it's like the right way to do it, if that makes sense. Like, I had laid tile, but I didn't know what I was doing. But I was like, I'm a by the book kind of guy. I like doing things the right way. And so watching people doing it the right way and talking to them and asking them questions, I was like, maybe I do want to try tile again. And it was probably 6 months before I took on another tile project. But as soon as I did, and I was like, okay, I'm watching people doing this on Instagram. I know I have the creative eye for it, and I know that I can do it. I just wasn't charging enough for it. And I fell in love with tile through Instagram. So that's was
the exact same story. I mean, with me as well. Once when I started following, you said Andrew and Kurt as well, I was like, okay, I was seeing what they were using. That's when I got first introduced to Caladad and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is just awesome. Watching them all. And 3 years ago when I got with that company here, it humbled me because I thought, I have everything, I'm good to go, and like literally had one little box full of like all these tile tools. And then I got around, there's about 35 guys in that department, and you start seeing what they're using, and it was like, okay. And then, like I said, like you said, you're getting on Instagram, you're seeing what they're using. And then now everyone jokes, but my fucking, catalog of all my tile, compartments and everything, it's all organized, and it's all, I still don't have everything. And it's like, oh my God, but it creates so much more efficiency. It's fun to do these cuts, and they come out a hell of a lot better than me just doing the arc with my wet saw, because you got to be able to be humble. You got to be willing to learn and keep progressing yourself. And I can't wait to keep pushing myself. So
Yeah, I think a few things that I realized about this work is that one, this like tile work is one of those that I feel like my attention to detail and my meticulousness has a place, right? Like I'm meticulous in all of my work, but tile specifically is where it really shines, and so that is one thing that I really like. I've realized over the years that I don't love floors. Like I don't love tiling floors. So I'll take shower work, even back. I don't really like backsplashes very much, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Like,
Same. I'm like showers only.
yeah, I think
I mean, I do the floor in the bathroom. But I don't, backsplash. Yeah, like they never get all their stuff off the counter. So many outlets.
well, like I'm gonna respond here to Southwest.
The faucet gets in the way.
The backsplash work for me doesn't keep me on a project long enough. I found out pretty early on. I started doing this work just handyman work, like building bookshelves for people or
Yeah.
painting rooms and stuff like that. But I found that I'm more efficient. Slash, I enjoy being on a project for more than 2 to 4 weeks. So
Okay.
I like being on a project for a week like I just finished up a bathroom kitchen remodel. It took me 10 weeks. So I like that.
I like them all. I mean, for me, backsplashes they're quick turn and burns. So like you said, that you're going to be packing up, you're going to be moving, you're going to go a lot quicker. Yes, the money's not there, but sometimes depending on what you're doing, and it's nice for a light week. So every once in a while it's nice, but yeah, before not paying the bills, I take them on. But what I like to do is kind of do some big jobs, feed into those, and then so that way my body has a chance to catch back up. Because I don't know where you're from, but we got a lot of basements down here. So I mean, you're
Yeah.
a lot of basement work. So you're running up and downstairs depending on where you're cutting. And for the most part, yes, you can score and snap. You can do different things. Sometimes you can set up inside, but for the most part, it's running in and out, running in and out. And my cardio, it's good. Right now, I've been treated because both jobs I'm outside, I'm right by it. There's no stairs, so my body's kind of like, hey, maybe we need to do some more running. But it's fun. It's fun. You got basements where you're at?
I do, but not a ton, to be honest with you. Like I'm trying to think.
I
don't
imagine
think-
not much.
No,
Being,
I've
like,
not
rocky.
done a ton of projects in basements, and if they are, they're like walkout basements. They're
Gotcha.
access that. So
Yeah. We don't have basements here. We have like too much flat rock or whatever in
I was gonna say,
Tennessee. So they just don't.
Nashville's built on a rock, man.
Yeah, they just don't. They just don't do them. They just build them 3 stories tall, 4 stories tall instead. It's ridiculous.
That's what they did over in Texas when I grew up in Austin. It was the same way. They don't dig because of limestone, so you just start stacking them up. I remember being in Lubbock when I was growing up, and one of the family members' friends we went into, he had his first basement I'd ever seen at that point, and it was only made for the kids, so it was a little game room and stuff. And I was just like, oh, this is fucking sick. I was like, what? Where is this my whole life? But the amount of money it must have taken to excavate that and to actually build it, holy crap. They really wanted to hide the kids, it seemed like. So
You work in a lot of older homes, Ryan?
I'm trying to think here. The answer is no, I don't. Part of that is by choice, in terms of like the jobs that I look at. I don't mind working in older homes, but they are pretty funky in terms of like the old ones around here. The floors are awful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have the benefit, I guess, of being a little bit selective in my client base, but also kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, because I do more than just tile. I'm not bidding a ton of projects, right? Like,
yeah,
I want a project to last me a month or a month and a half, so I'm only getting 10 a year or something.
Oh yeah, same.
That makes sense.
I want
That's good.
that security, and and it gives you that time in between. You don't have to bid a bunch of projects because, like, dude, I'm booked for the next 2 months on one job. Like, maybe I'll go look at one next week. A couple, Hopefully,
that's how I like it. I mean, I probably have room for one big project at the end of this year, but like my January to March is booked up right now. I've got projects pretty much lined up for the rest of the fall. So
That's beautiful.
It doesn't take much to fill my pipeline, which is how I like it. But I think that might be why I don't really like backsplashes, is because I don't think that it keeps me on a project long enough. And as a one-man show, I just have found that I would rather spend my time on the work and getting, like working on the project than looking for new work. So that's
there you go.
I tried early on in my company to brand my company, and then also to price my pricing to put me in a certain echelon and a certain type of clientele. So that has worked out pretty well for me. I do about 90% either repeat business or referral business, and that keeps me in a certain type of project, which I really like. So,
yeah,
beautiful.
That's the word of mouth.
Yeah, no, it's been really good.
Yeah, for me to try to be 3 to 6 months window for booking out, and it seems to be fine. I kind of like that because any farther than 6, it's nice to be secured, but I kind of like to see what's coming in, and then kind of can cherry pick, like before getting people under contract, like, okay, the larger ones are going to pay more. So I do want those, but I don't want to take up all these tiny little small ones where, like you said, you're dancing around all over town, you're putting all these miles on your truck, and you're just having to constantly go when you can just secure yourself into one area. I bet that one job, I'm in a different one, but I'm waiting for them to fix it. But I think it was like 5 months total because they kept adding on projects, and I had time because the new build I was waiting on kept getting pushed out and out. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I was telling Kyle, I was like, about done. He goes, dude, I think the whole entire time I've met you've been at that one project. And I'm like, well, money was there, so I didn't want to leave.
Well, there's something to be said for those types of clients. I mean, I've got one client that I've probably done close to $200,000 worth of work for, and they're like, hey, whenever you got a spot in your schedule, we want to do another bathroom, so come on up. Or they hit me up. Actually, their sons are the ones that own the restaurant, the restaurant stall. So I've done work for their sons. I've done work on the sons' house, and then I've done a whole bunch of work on their houses. And they were in town last week, looking at another house. They were like, well, we're thinking about getting another property, so we'll let you know if
cool.
What work we have for you. So.
That's the best, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
When you have a
beneficiary
that's feeding you jobs.
Yeah.
So the restaurant that you just did, it was kind of like a little coffee shop, it seemed like, or something like that. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or how'd you get that one?
So that is in a food hall that's downtown Asheville. So a long time ago, I worked downtown Asheville when I was recruiting, and that whole building is like 130 years old, and it had been a whole bunch of different things throughout all the years. And about 3 years ago, they converted it into a food hall. So one of the big breweries here in town took the whole upstairs, and then there's 5 food stalls built out downstairs. And a friend of mine from church, she worked for a branding company that had done all the branding for that build out. And she called me and said, hey, we've got a client who's got a food stall in here. We've designed the front of the food stall with like this chevron inlaid wood pattern. And we don't, we're looking for somebody who can build it. And at the time I was like, I have no idea how to do that. But I was like, if I bid this for enough money that I can buy a table saw and a chop saw, then I will take this project on. So I did. And that's how I got to know those restaurant owners, because they own that food stall. And then after I finished that project, they turned me on to their parents, and then I've done a whole bunch of work for their parents. And then those guys they took over another one of the food stalls that had closed down in there. So I did the rebuild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it. I think I've done 2 other restaurants. One of them I did all the cabinetry, did a custom rounded cabinet for the front of the restaurant. I enjoy it. I did some other back end build out type stuff. Did some work in the kitchen. I don't know that I really want to be in the commercial world all the time, but opportunities like that don't come around very often, I don't think. for a historic building like that and one that just gets so much foot traffic, I was really excited to work in that space. So especially having seen it, go through so many machinations over the years. I was really enjoyed that.
For me in my business, I'm commercial able, and that means my essentially my insurance will cover me for commercial work. And that was because I didn't want to work myself out of that niche once again, and finding out the jobs that come in, I can cherry pick them, right? So personally, I haven't gotten to do that commercial job yet, but it's there just in case it comes through the door. So it's like, okay, and then I can inquire. Obviously, with Instagram, we've got all these great guys here, so it's like, okay, well, you can always source out a team if we needed to, depending on what it is. Check everyone's schedules, and then it makes it work for everybody. So I'm excited to eventually get to do something like that, but I'm with you. I still like working residential. The prices are better, but you're not doing as many cuts in commercial, most likely because it's a larger square footage, depending on what you're doing. I think Brandon Painter, he's doing 6 bathrooms in a commercial job right now. So they give you work, but once again, what I've noticed is the prices of square footage go down.
But they work
They do work you, and you're held to that schedule. And then sometimes, you get fined if you don't hit it. So there's a lot of things, a lot of other factors that aren't there for residential.
I'll tell you what, it was interesting taking on that project because I was the GC on it, right? So I took the project from start to finish, and I did all of the work. Of course, it had to be permitted. I had to have my subcontractors, the plumbing and electrical on it, but I did the demo of the stall, and I rebuilt the wall, and I did the tile and put everything back into place. So I wasn't held to any schedule except the one that I set for myself and the deadline that they put in front of me that they wanted to be open by a certain weekend, right?
That's perfect.
But right now I'm doing a big bathroom. It's really the first tile job, the only tile job I've done in the last year that I'm just doing the tile on. But some of my best friends are rebuilding, or they're building out their basement, but they're going through a general contractor. And this is the first time I've done work for a general contractor as a subcontractor, just doing the tile. And it's been weird for me, I'll be honest with you, because I'm like, why are you breathing down my neck, man? Like, I'm
Are you prepping it?
What's that?
Are you prepping it too?
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah, exactly. I told them what I wanted. I was like, leave. I was like, don't put anything on the walls. Leave everything. But dude, today I was there and the concrete all jacked up. They poured my drains. So I'm doing a 8.5 foot OD quick drain, linear drain, and they poured my 2-inch pipe a 1/2 inch out of plumb with the other one. So now I got to go in and jack up all the concrete and move that around. But it's just stuff like that where I'm like, if I was the one doing it from the beginning, I wouldn't be having to be worried,
Is it a new construction or a remodel?
No, it's new construction. Well, they're building out their basement. So it was an unfinished basement, but it's a big one. I mean,
yeah. Dude, plumbers, they're just not finished guys, man. They just don't give a shit.
No, dude. I know. I mean,
I waited forever for these plumbers to. First off, I had to build out a ledge on a wall to center the drain because they had the drain so far out on a concrete slab. I'm like, well, I'm not jacking that up, but I can make a nice knee wall there to set shit on and get it centered. And then I waited forever for them to hook the valve up. I could do it, but that's not my job. That's not what they paid me to do here. So I'm not fucking doing it. I waited forever. Then they didn't fucking center it with the drain on the wall. I was like, oh my God, dude. Now I have to cut pipes, get things adjusted. I had to do it anyways.
Yeah. No, this, I will say, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice in some sense, just being able to push it off on somebody else and be like, hey, that wall's not ready for tile. That floor is not level. I'm going to have to charge you for whatever. In my world, in most of my projects, that's my problem. Me as the tile guy, I have to go and kick my own ass as the GC, the framer, the plumber, all of those things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I found that I don't love working on somebody else's time. Well, it's not even time constraints. I'll tell you what it really is for me. I don't like playing second fiddle to the general contractor who takes all of the roses at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I like the satisfaction of being the person that the homeowner sees do the work and appreciates the work that I put into it.
Yeah. You sell yourself on that, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I. I'm like, there's not going to be a different van here every week. You know, you're going to get me every day for a month.
That's what I tell my homeowners. From when I go out to do an estimate, I'm telling them the same thing. I'm like, you're going to get me. I'm not going to just send in a crew of guys that you don't know, that you don't, you haven't gotten to meet, who's going to be in your house. I'm not saying that doesn't work, but it depends. There's some people that have a steady group that they can take and they're, employees, but then there's others that just hire laborers and they're just, dancing from ones to the other. And those are probably the ones like you, Rick, where you're having to rip it out and do it all over again because it's, they're not there. They're not trained right. They're going to get in and they're going to get out. And it's like, holy crap. And
did
then
you
the
see how that floor came up, dude?
Dude, at least it came up in sheets.
We demoed that whole thing in an hour. That was insane. The shower walls, the fan, the entire floor. It's like 170 square foot bathroom. It's a good size.
I got to do back at that place where I was working before. I got so efficient that I could go in and I could tear out a shower that's a normal 3x5, tear out a normal floor, which is about 30 square foot, vanity, everything, toilet, take it all out in about less than 3 hours. And that's from walking in the door, setting up the floor prep, putting my tools down, getting everything out, loaded up, and leaving. And one time, my project manager at that time, he was like, hey, so-and-so, they're so far behind. Can you go help them out? And I was like, yeah, sure. It's right around town. It's, I'm going to get paid an additional, we got paid piece rate. So I charge them always piece rate instead of an hourly rate. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I showed up, and that was that one where the homeowner's son, they told me, had watched YouTube videos, and he had tiled the whole shower in penny tile, not fucking one little exit. Like the whole walls were penny tile, and there was on Durarock, and that motherfucker came off in little bits, man, not sheets. I was so pissed. I was like, this is the last time I'm going to open the mouth. Dude, man, I mean, it would have lasted, but it looked like shit. And I just walked in and was like, oh, fuck me. This is it. I'm not going to offer myself up again. Lesson learned.
The irony of this bathroom is, so like, we're used to working in old houses, like historic houses, got a little plaque on the building, on the house and shit. So this is the oldest house I think I've ever done a remodel in. It was built in 1890. And a lot of these historic homes that I'm tearing up in Nashville, we're tearing out like 5 inches of concrete in the subfloor, and we got the inch thick mortar walls and lath. And that's like most of what I tear out. This is the oldest house I've ever worked in, and it was like the easiest demo day I've ever had. So dope, dude. So dope. Awesome. Normally it's like, old house. Shit, we're gonna be demoing this for like a day and a half, dude.
I mean, a demo day to me is a day and a half if it's a bad project. What I think is funny is like when a homeowner is like, hey, we'll do the demo, thinking that's going to save them a bunch. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I would love for you to do demo, but it's only going to save you this much money.
Like $1,000, depending on what we're doing, give or take.
You almost gotta like tell them, it's like, make sure you get all the screws out of the studs.
Yeah.
And the joists. Don't fuck around now. It's got to be clean, like demo.
That place I used to work at, that was one thing that they would most likely sometimes sell you on, and you would walk in, and especially when I was project man, I would come in, and one of them, they'd taken the tub out, but they left all the drywall on the walls, and they didn't have tile there originally, so we're going to convert it into a shower. So I'm like, but all this has to go. So it's like, okay, then it's stupid because then you have to do a change order. Even if they're not going to get charged from it, it's still got to be, I got to have the change order in place so that my guy can get paid. And it's like, it was a pain in the ass. And I'm like, why do we do this? For them to just save that little bit, like you said. And in the scheme of things, it just creates more chaos. Like, just let us get it from start to finish. And that way the warranty can take effect. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Or they'll come in and they'll rip everything out. And it's like,
you're gonna cut.
You start measuring things, and next Yeah.
Cutting the shower valve
oh
out
my
and
God, I've
capping
done
the
those
water
countless
lines.
times.
Are you going to do that, homeowner? No, you're
Yep.
not.
No,
I've had that. No, I've had ones where literally they're like, "Hey, we want to keep that valve," and I'm like, "That valve is fucking 50 years old. Like, sure, it's not leaking, but like, it's gonna
They
look
don't
so
even
outdated when we put up this new tile. Like, buy a new goddamn valve for less than
I know.
$500 installed, and it'll
I
look so
know.
much better." Like,
Yeah.
and if we're in that position, then why are we getting a remodel right now? You know, like I get it if something has failed, but if it's not failed and you just want it updated, that's not going to get it updated. It's going to look like ass. There's no trim kit that's going to fit that. That's going to,
Yep.
and that's one thing homeowners don't understand. They think you can just go into, you know, Home Depot or anywhere and buy a new trim kit, bolt it back on. No, they all have different patterns, and it's because every valve is made, you know, updated. But that's a way for these companies like Kohler and Delta and all these other ones to kind of keep you buying new products. You know what I mean? Where,
you know, I've realized in the last several years that there's a mindset and a mentality that that's a little bit older, of an older generation, that just assumes that to fix something is the right way to go. But to be honest with you, it costs so much more money to fix something than to tear it out and to replace it. And I hate that. I revolt. I hate that idea altogether. However, it's just the reality. It's just the straight up reality that if you want me to, like, I mean, I've told people, like, I've been called on 2 projects to repair a shower floor, and I'm like, to be honest with you, you can spend like 25% more, and I'll rebuild the entire shower.
I know. I'm like, that's 2/3 the project right there.
Yeah, because like trying to nitpick it and take something apart like that, being super careful on the demo, and then having to patch it back in and
patch your backer board in. I do it. I do those jobs though.
No,
it's like your plumbing works though too. Like, what is it? The little shutoff valves or the ones for your, you know, vanities, faucets. I've had homeowners that, okay, sure, they make the parts to repack them and to get these things built. But like you said, after I go source the materials and or wait for the time for it to get delivered and then actually go and install it from start to finish, I could just have installed a new one for you. And then you have a new baseline of it, you know, that's going to be good for so many years. And, you know, yeah, sure. If you spent a ton of money on some of these bathroom fixtures, like some of them are very, very pricey. That's a different story. You know, that I can understand. But if we're on like $100 Delta faucet and you just want it repacked, it's like, come on now. No, it's not worth it.
No, my advice to any homeowners when I'm doing projects is don't skimp money on the things that we can't fix later. So shower valve, I'm putting it behind tile and we can't access that. You can change a cartridge maybe, but there's nothing else you can do. If you want to skip on something, skip on your sink faucet, because we can come back anytime and we can cut that thing out of there. I tell a minimum of $300 I want you to spend on your shower faucet. That's just that fixture needs to be a nice one.
I always recommend them to get Delta just because Danco, I mean, it's like the only like shower valve company that another company makes replacement parts for, and you can get you know, the original replacement parts. You know, those Amazon stuff, so cool, man, but there's no replacement parts for them.
I installed one of those about 2 years ago, and it was for my brother's father-in-law, and he ordered it, and I took one look at the box, and I don't even think the box had any words on it. In fact, Steve, bathroom remodel teacher, you might have seen some of his stuff he's been posting. He just unboxed an Amazon one. There's not a single name on it, and like the instructions that came with mine looked like they were hand drawn by a Chinese 3-year-old. Like I was like, what's going on here? I don't know what have you bought? And he was like, oh, it was, you know, got good reviews on Amazon, and I was like, I don't think so, man. I can't see how this would have gotten any reviews on Amazon.
And I hate to say it, but anybody can create an account and write a review, right? So, I mean, that's kind of what I always tell everybody, you know, it's like, until you have somebody that can actually vouch for it, or a name brand that's and actually, you know, putting in the money in the R&D, it's kind of, I don't want to say the word scam, but you don't know if you're going to get scammed or not. You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know. It scares me. And like you said, if you're burying it behind the wall, that's a whole other story too. So it's like, I don't want to do that really. I want something that I know when it gets hooked up, it's going to hold and it's going to last until we need to replace it or replace the cartridge. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of, I haven't been approached with putting one of those in, but I'm real iffy on I'm not doing name brand stuff.
Yeah.
Just get
It's
Delta.
hard. Yep.
I mean, all my plumbers, all my Instagram plumbers, and all my real plumbers, Delta is a great. Is just a great brand. I've installed a lot of Kohler stuff, and I don't mind that. I don't like mowing. I don't like putting in mowing stuff at all.
No.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to faucets, it's like whatever, get whatever brand, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've done a couple Kohler valves. I don't think I've ever done a mowing one.
Now, my favorite Delta are the ones that have the actual screw off shut off, so that you naturally can go in there. You can screw the little pieces of screws back into the valves, shut it off at that point without actually having to shut them a water off after they've been installed. And I always tell the homeowners, if we're going to get a new valve, let's go with that, because it's not that much price difference, but it makes that much sense. And especially if you're in, a multi-rise unit, I've done some of those with condos, and it's like, okay, you have to schedule out a time to shut off the water. You got to give 24-hour notice, and then you only got 2 hours to do it. So if all we have to do is replace a cartridge and we can screw these things back in, it's a hell of a lot easier versus, having to jump through the hoops and hurdles. I like it. That's my favorite. Kohler's a go-to though, so I can't talk bad about them. But I'm kind of with you. I personally have put in mowing valves back in like 12 years ago, and that was really in my tiny house, and I didn't like it. You know what I mean? And it works, but it just preference after putting in so many Deltas. That's kind of where I'm at. I like it, and they make so many different trim kits that they look nice. You know what I mean? So it works.
Yeah, and you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever and get a cartridge for it. You can't
right
get
away
a cartridge for any of those other brands.
No,
that I
you're
know
going to be.
Because one time the client got a Kohler and he only got the trim kit, and I was like, oh, dude, all right, let me run up here and see if could not get a cartridge for that thing anywhere in town. Couldn't get the cartridge body valve body anywhere in town.
So that would be the number one order. But what bugged me back where I worked before was another thing, like we talked about when they were have the homeowner come in and do the demo to save a little bit. Well, sometimes it would be customer supplied plumbing, and then like you said, they would just supply just the trim kit, because a lot of homeowners, they think everything's in that box, and it's like, no, we need the rough end valve. And you try to talk to them about that, and they're like, wait, what? Like, we got to order something else? And it's just like, holy crap, man. Now we're going to be ordering another part that's going to put me back. And I don't know, being a piece of work, sometimes it would just shoot you in the foot. And I just remember it sucked.
Hey, I got to ask in the comments, all season construction, where are you in North Minnesota?
I want to say St. Paul, or
that's not North Minnesota. I was born in St. Paul. That's why I was asking.
Well, I think he's in St. Paul. At least he asked me to come out and do a project out with him, and I'm definitely I'm gonna respond back to that. Yeah, St. Paul area. There it is.
All right.
Yeah. There you go. So that's where I was like, all right.
My parents lived in Shoreview for a long time. Then from there they moved to Utah. So
nice. So does your family still live in Utah area?
Yeah. Moved here. Yeah, so quick story on that. So I was born in Minnesota. My sister was born in Minnesota. And then in 86, when the Challenger shuttle blew up, my dad was one of the that was hired to fix the O-ring that froze on that shuttle.
Wow.
So he still works for that company. He's still an engineer there, and he's retiring next year, I think 40 years.
Hell yeah.
Wait, he lives in Shoreview? That's awesome. Small world. My mom literally just sent me a listing for their first house that they owned in Shoreview is on the market right now. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wait, what? He was born in Wasatch. No kidding, dude.
Yeah, he's also from Utah too.
I was raised. This is hilarious. I'm having a conversation with him on the.
This is why we do this.
Yeah. No, I was raised in Utah. My brother lives in Park City now, and I'm going to Park City in 2 weeks for his wedding.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be out there in Park City. But that's my stomping ground. I went to Weber State University. My parents still live there in northern Utah. He's from Heber. All right. Yeah, way out there. I grew up in Ogden Valley. I don't know if he knows where that's at, but
nice.
Anyway, Small,
Yeah, I did a
small world.
a job out in San Jose for a gentleman. He owned a townhouse out there. I did his floor. He flew me out prior to COVID. Did his floor, but now he just told he just recently sold that, so now it's got new owners. He's living in Houston, but his sister owns a place in Park City, so he's going to be. It's a mutual friend. He works with my father-in-law. They do a lot of programming together and everything, and he's actually going to come into town before going into Park City. So we're going to go. All three of us grab a dinner, so it'll be a nice little catch up, and it'll be fun. Kind of
nice.
He's a really good dude.
I want to hit up Tarkus Tile while I'm out there. Mark Christensen, see if he's available. Maybe
nice,
dude. Speaking of Mark Christensen, I just ordered that water thing today that he's always like recommending. Like,
oh really?
Everybody's got to get. I was like, ever since I saw that, I was like, dude, I do need that. So
what is this?
I ordered that on Amazon today. You hook it up to the hose, and it's like an exact measurement water distributor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like,
is it Behui or who makes that?
No, it's some other weird brand.
I saw one at Coverings 2 years ago. And I almost bought it, and I thought that Ruby made one, but I didn't see that they had it this year. But it measures your water out from the hose. So you connect it to the hose. You tell it you want 5.5 quarts of water. You push the button, and it just dispenses 5.5 quarts.
No shit. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
It's Colo Mix, is what the brand is.
All right.
The one that you got. Okay.
Colo. Yeah, I think it's the only one. I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm about to try the. I bought one of those Hydrotails. So yeah, Brandon also said the same thing. I got a Hydrotail, so I'm gonna use mine for the first time tomorrow. Oh, yeah. And just got it. I had already had it on the shelf. It was an extra when I had the rigid saw, my wet saw pump. So I'm about to hook that up and just get it in line, drop it in a bucket tomorrow, and just watch it. I got to do the stack stone. So it'll be good. I'm excited.
I took a leaf out of Kurt's book, and I bought a foot pedal for my water pump on my wet saw.
There you go.
So I've separated out the saw from the foot and the pump. So whenever I walk up to my saw, I just step on the wet saw or the pump.
It'll kick on this.
Oh, what's up, Mario? But the reason I really like that is because if I'm making multiple cuts, I can have my saw running and then turn the water off so I can align my blade without water on it, and turn the water back on. So
nice. Yeah, I like that.
That's the one thing.
What brand pedal did you get?
Amazon Chinese $17.99.
Just whatever.
There you go. It works.
Yeah.
I will say that's the one thing I do like about the Ruby 10-inch. I do have. I mean, obviously it's not as convenient as having the pedal, but they have that function where it's already a secondary plug-in. So I'm running it on two so that it kicks on the water. But naturally, it's just a little flip switch. You can hit it on and off, so that way you're good. The rigid wasn't like that. I mean, when I ran my rigid for so many years, you turn that sucker on and it's all one piece. Like you said. You need a bypass. So I mean, I'm gonna look into this pedal though. That'd be nice and convenient. So I'm all for that.
The project that I just started posting stories about, I created some content around that foot switch pedal. So I'll post that here maybe in a couple of weeks. But
so All Season Construct said you just got the 36,000.
Nice.
The DeWalt.
Is that the same one you use, Ryan?
No, is it the 36? That's the new one, right?
The big one.
Got the 36-inch capability.
It's got like 5 trays.
Yeah, I think it might be the one that I have because I do have the extension trays on all the sides for it.
And you probably do.
I bought mine used from my friend Mike here in town, iTile Asheville. Love that. I love that saw, and I'll buy it again in a heartbeat. Like if that one goes down, I wouldn't mind buying that one again.
Yeah, no, it's a great saw. I love the 24 though. I got the 36 right now. But I want to get another 24. That 30, I find that extra 12 inches to actually be pretty useless. Because a lot of tiles are like 12 by 24. Like I just don't do a lot of like 30-inch tiles. 30, it's like. It's bigger than that or smaller than that.
So. I agree. Well, so first of all, BP says that the trays crack easily. Yeah, they do. Mine is held together with Allset right now, but
there you go.
I will say the 36-inch capability has more to do. Yeah, 37 inches. I think it has more to do with, like, if I'm cutting a sill, like a shower sill, and I'd line that thing up on there, I like having a little bit extra runway. It's not 36 inches, but if you raise the blade up high enough, you can cut something longer on it. My job I'm on right now is 24 by 48, so I'm not going to cut a 48-inch on it, but you can make a deep cut on a 48-inch tile on that 36.
Oh yeah.
The Remake 10-inch I've got with an extension tray. I don't have but they just now showed it at Coverings, and that one will accommodate those 48 inches, no problem. And it's like, okay, that's an eye opener. But when I was out there with Andrew, he was breaking down all the things that, I didn't really necessarily notice, because I was looking at the different models between the DeWalt 36 and then this one. Well, this one was $400 cheaper, but you realize why it's $400 cheaper is because on the tray on the roller, it's actually got plastic wheels, and there's little things that you just don't notice until you start doing a side-by-side comparison with the DeWalt.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the long scheme of things, sure, you save $400, but I'm already thinking, okay, well, now I got to sell it secondhand to somebody, and then I'm going to upgrade myself, which didn't save me any money. Now I'm out time and money too. So I don't know. I always think get the one that's going to make you happier and that's going to last in the long run. For me, it was my first 10-inch. I'd ran 7 inches all up till then, just running the rigid 7 inches, and they worked great. But they had the capability of where you had to be careful on your cuts. You always had to think which way to rock it so they didn't hit the arm. And for the most part, it doesn't do that right now. And I mean, I like it, but I can already tell that there's certain things that I wish they had done a little differently. If they make another model, it would be nice. Or let me buy some metal wheels, like, sell something to upgrade this kit, for the actual pro. So,
first of all, I want to say hi to Oli Tile real quick.
Oh yeah. What up, Oli?
Good to see you on here, pal. Also, Mario, I don't know if you knew this, but All Season has a Utah connection. We should talk. We're all Utah peeps.
That's right. Oh.
D24. I'm with BP on it. D24 is the greatest of all time. They're both great saws. It's the same saw. One just has a bigger cut capacity.
Yep.
That's an orange creamsicle Twizzler is what that is.
That thing looks really
good. Hell? Oh.
Did you order that?
I found it at Walmart the other day.
Oh, lucky dog.
We were going out on the river, and I was like, I need something.
My
wife doesn't like it.
I saw an advertisement for like custom licorice the other day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, you know what? Those do look pretty fire. Maybe I will order some.
Vegas next Wednesday for 4th of July, but my buddy's birthday is on the 3rd, and that's when we're flying out for. So good. But I'm already stacking up, getting all my gummies, getting all my stuff I eat on the airplane, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be nice. I'm excited. And since we're gonna be there for 4th of July, I just ordered a whole setup, and I sent him exactly every item I ordered off Amazon. He goes, dude, I'm so embarrassed for you walking around. And I was like, fuck no, dude, wait for it. I got a American flag cape. I got a fucking American flag overalls with a little bald eagle. I ordered the flag shoes, and then I got a actual mask that's a bald eagle.
Dang, boy.
Oh, dude, I'm going to be Mr. America walking around the strip. It's going to be fucking great.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm going to get some content, so that'll be good. It should be fun. It's going to be 108 degrees, so I'll probably get a heat stroke in it, but hey, fuck it.
Yeah, we're going out to Utah middle of July, which is like the worst possible time to go to Utah, but it's honestly the worst possible time to be in North Carolina too, so it is what it is.
Oh, dude, we're in our 90s right now, but when I grew up in Austin, Texas, and we had many days over 100. And even my truck today said it was 105. So I'm like, it just depends on where this thing's getting soaked in the sun. It's too damn hot right now.
It was 90 here today, and it's humid too. So
I can't believe the temperature fluctuates like that in Denver. Where like you had snow, like what?
That's what I was gonna say. A whole month ago, my tray was freezing in the fucking snow, and I'm like, in middle May, and then here we are, 100 degrees. A whole. That is 60, 80 degrees hotter. It very much is. It's like, oh, dude, your body doesn't know what to do. And this year, I've noticed there's a hell of a lot more mosquitoes. Like, we haven't had mosquitoes in the 10 years I've lived here. here unless you're right by like the major sources of water. And then I went fishing the other day and I just got eaten alive. And I'm like, what happened? This turned into Austin again. This is one reason I moved. I was like, God damn it. Now all I need is the humidity to follow. And then I'm going to be like, shit, they had so much better food down there. It's time to go home.
Ryan, did you get hit with that wave of cicadas?
Yeah.
This year?
We get cicadas here all the time.
Yeah, we got that like 13 and 17 year the overlap this year. It was gnarly. It was majestic, honestly. You like go outside and there's just like so many of them flying around. And you're like, dude, Earth is magical.
Dude,
wild.
It'll freak you out on some level, but if you stop and you think about it, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was sweet. I just sat on my back deck at night when the sun's kind of just golden hour, you know.
I miss that. I miss lightning bugs. Those are the things that, you know, we had in Austin, and I just grew up and I took you know, for granted. And I come out here and there's like nothing that lives out here in Colorado. Like you don't get lizards. Like my kiddos saw their first lizards when we went over to Austin, Texas. They're like, what is that? Like it should be in a zoo. And I'm like, nah, dude, we used to catch those every night. They're fucking fun. Like, yeah, but too good.
Kyle, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Your house is on fire. You can only grab one guitar from behind your head. What is it?
Ooh. It's this one.
Wait, the acoustic or the Strat?
Nah, the acoustic.
All right, what is it?
That's a Martin D35. It belonged to my grandfather.
Dude.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So he left it to me when he died. This is actually my first guitar. That's a Squire. So that'd probably be the second one I'd grab. And then we have a Fender, a Bedell. This is like the one I play the most. And then a Fender. Those are the two that I play the most on that end.
Sick.
Yeah.
What do you play through?
What amp? A Deluxe Reverb. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What kind of music do you like to play?
What kind of music? Man, it's like rock. Kind of rock, you know? It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe your own music, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Ollie says you're the coolest kid on the block, so that describes it right there, brother.
But yeah, you play, I assume. You got that. You saved up for that guitar.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
So what kind of guitar were you working to save up for?
It's a Gibson J185. It's a Gibson jumbo body and a tobacco burst.
Yeah.
Celtic cross inlays in the bridge.
Gibson, dude, you were saving for a long time for that one.
I was. You know what's funny? Back then, 2006 or 7, when I knew that's the one I wanted, I think that guitar was on the... What's going on, Bennett Flooring and Tile? Good to see you, bud. That guitar hung on the top shelf of the music store that I took guitar lessons from for a long time, and I saw that's how I knew what it was, and I wanted it. When I bought it, it's a long story, and I could go into it if you're interested. But when I bought it, I paid $1,700 for it, and I put a Fishman pickup in it. But it was discontinued. All right, I'm already telling the story. I knew that I wanted that guitar for 5 years.
Yeah.
And it was one of those that hung on the top shelf that was like, don't touch it. It's got a sign on it, ask management or whatever. So when I moved out here, that was the guitar that I wanted to buy. So I moved here for the summer. At the end of the summer, they offered me a full-time job, and I was like, I'm going to accept, but I got to go home, and I got to get all my stuff, and I got to basically move my life out here. So the first thing I did was I went to the music store, and I was like, I'm here for the Gibson. And they're like, we stopped carrying Gibson over the summer because of quota.
Oh.
And I was like, you got to get it. So I was like, well, I guess I got to go to Guitar Center. So I went to Guitar Center, and they were like, we don't have that guitar. So I was like, well, I don't know how, like, what am I supposed to do here? And I literally only went back for like 2 weeks, and then I was coming back out to North Carolina. So during that 2 weeks, I was calling around North Carolina because I was like, well, maybe I'll just buy it when I get back there, and then I'll have to ship it. And I called 17 guitar stores in North Carolina, and I called 14 in South Carolina. None of them had that guitar. And about
Where
halfway,
did it go?
well, yeah. So halfway through my list, one guy said they stopped. It's a discontinued model. They discontinued it in last summer, basically right at the beginning of summer when I left is the last time that they were making it. I finally contacted a store in Charleston, South Carolina. Ye Old Music. They're an awesome guitar store. But I called him and he said, I know what you want. I just sold the last one that I had like a month ago. But he said, my good friend is the plant manager at Bozeman for Gibson. Let me call him and see if they can do anything for you. So he called me back the next day and was like, if you put a deposit down on that guitar, they'll make you another one.
What?
Like, yep, absolutely. So I did. I put that deposit down. It took them 3 months to build a new one. And they called me up, and me and my sister and her husband, we drove down to Charleston for the weekend and picked up that guitar.
Dude, that's
And-
Oh,
dope.
that's fucking sick, Ryan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gibson Custom made you a guitar.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's
don't ever get rid of that.
I opened the case and like I just smelled it, and it smelled like fresh lacquer, and yeah, I still have it. It's still my pride and joy. I probably have like 7 or 8 guitars, but that's the one I'd grab in a house fire.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
these
dude. Start
These
from
are
that.
just the ones you can see.
Yeah.
You know how it is. That's
Wait.
dope, man.
You know Ye Old Music. That's hilarious. That's awesome.
So what year was that?
That was 2007.
Oh man.
No,
Yeah,
2006. 2006.
So reverb.com wasn't a thing then.
It was not a thing, but you know what? Gibson re-released that guitar last year for $5,500. So I was like,
Wow.
well, glad I got it when I did. But I upped my insurance on it for sure. So
What did you pay for it, if you don't mind?
I paid 17.
17? That's not bad if it's 55 now.
I was gonna say they all go up.
Yeah, the return on investment right there, that was insane. So that's awesome.
I bought a 2003 Gibson ES 137. So think of like Gibson Les Paul, but it's semi-hollow and it's the large body style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the 335. It looks more like a Les Paul. But I
Struggle playing Spotify.
saw that.
Oh, that's an awesome comment, brother. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's all right, buddy.
So I bought that Gibson for $2,000 in 2014, I think. And I know that one's gone up it's probably gone up another 2,000 in value. So I mean,
Wow.
Gibsons hold their value a lot, and I don't play that one very often. My daily electric is a Gretsch, and
Nice.
then my daily acoustic is that Gibson. So
How frequent do you play?
So, more lately, less in the past. Like, I grew up playing music. I played in like a rock and hardcore band all through high school and college, and then I have been a worship leader at my church for 20
Nice.
plus years. So I play a lot in church, and I stepped out of that for a couple of years, and then I've just kind of stepped back into it recently. So.
That's sick,
I
brother.
mean,
Good job.
I've got a guitar hanging in my bedroom all the time. Like I pick up a guitar 2-3 times a week at least.
Yeah, I
Music
almost
is great.
never go. I don't leave town without that acoustic, really. But I didn't take it to coverings, which felt really weird. And I was staying with Amos, like, he's a musician.
That guy of all guys, right?
So
Could have jammed.
it was odd.
Yeah.
So are you going to make it out to Surface Expo, or are you going to be planning on coverings? What's your next one you're thinking?
I'll be at coverings for sure. I have thought about Surfaces, and not for any reason, but Surfaces tends to be on the West Coast, and it's a little bit further out for me.
Okay.
I went to Vegas, and I would do that again. Coverings is in Orlando, so that's an easy one for me, and my wife will want to come down for that one too. So, yeah, I don't know. I have no reason not to.
I'm gonna hit them both up. I like them both. I mean, obviously, coverings is more all tile related, and that's the one thing I do love. 3.5 days. You know, you're spent after those 3.5 days, and the other one's 2.5, so that's nice. But I realize you're walking around. They kind of space things accordingly, but then there's still some that are still spread out, so you're still going around, and a third of it's hardwood and the other third's carpet. So I don't know. It just depends on what you're doing, and then you're walking the strip, so that's a lot of walking too. But
yeah. So I was there. Let's see here. Wait, Tice is in Vegas this year? Is that where it always is?
I don't know. I'll have to look at that.
Surfaces is in. I don't know where that is. Anyway,
Usually
I went to Vegas. Oh, is it? I went to Vegas in August of last year with Odie for the International Build Show, and my gosh, that's a lot of walking. That conference center, plus all the walking that we did just around, down the strip and otherwise, like there were guys putting 20 miles a day in.
Oh, dude, I think I did 40 when I was there on my little counter on my phone. Like within the 3 days, it was like 40 miles with me going up and down. One night I did 8 times in the strip, just walking up and down, going to different places. That first night, me and Oswaldo, I met him, and we just had a fucking blast. But man, it was the crazy part was by the end of it all, you know how packed the whole strip is normally. Well, we're leaving the bar at like 2 in the morning, and 3 in the morning when they shut it down, and it's like I'm stumbling back to my place. I know where I'm going, thank God, but I'm the only soul on the fucking like strip at that point, and I'm just thinking, holy shit, what just changed? Like Vegas, like finally did shut off. Like people are asleep, people are gone. Like what just happened? Like it's totally different.
Vegas closest?
What's that?
I figured it was like an all night town. I've never been.
See, what pisses me off is the food closes. Like you go to these food courts and stuff at night, and it's like, oh no, we closed like I got to one last time. They're like, we closed 10 minutes ago, and it's it's 8:50. Like people are gonna be up till like 2, 3 in the morning, and like finally I found a Subway that was like, oh, we're 24 hours. So now I know my go-to places. I'm like, okay.
Oh, they got rid of our 24-hour Subway.
Did they?
Yeah, it used to be in the Love's gas station, like 2 miles from here. Just like a good backup. If like 11:30 midnight, you're like, shit, I'm fucking hungry, dude. No, it's gone.
Well, in Austin, Texas, the Walmart used to be 24 hours in Austin, and when I moved here 10 years ago, I had cats at that time, and I remember getting off of my night job because I ran construction during the day, and then I worked as a pizza guy at night just to make extra money. And I was coming home, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go in and get some cat litter. I love it at nighttime. No one's there. And I'm running in, and they're like, nah, dude, we closed at 11. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did I just move to? We can get marijuana here. We can get all this shit here in Colorado, but I can't go to Walmart at past 11? Like, what? But now everything's changed. Where I don't know. Do y'all have 24-hour ones anymore? None of them are.
No, but, after COVID, we don't have 24-hour anything except gas stations. But
see?
I ain't gonna lie. In my own town, I'm not up that late. Maybe I'm just old. How old are you guys?
Oh, dude.
What'd you say in your own town? You're what? In
my own town, I'm not out that late.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't go out late. I don't do shit anymore. But I want Kroger to be open at 1 a.m.
In case you need it.
It used to be until COVID.
Oh, dude, I used to do my Christmas shopping at like 11:30 at night, and getting everything done. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm going in, I'm getting my shit. No one's in front of me. I love it.
Canada closes
there was
down
countless times.
He said.
God damn. See, that's where I went to high school. I went to a high school called Westlake, and it was a tiny little suburb out of Austin, Texas. And they had all made like essentially a law in place there because of all these people voted for it. 10 o'clock. Everything closed at 10 o'clock. It was a curfew. And that way it kept people from being out, and it kept everybody at houses. But dude, that used to bug the shit out of me because it's like, dude, that's too early.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess I go to bed at 11 usually, but I'm up at 5:30. I don't really like to be out too much later than that. I mean, if I'm on vacation or like when we were in Atlanta or something like that, I'll be out till 2 a.m. That's fine. But
Kyle, you there?
Yeah, I don't really have late nights anymore.
is that just by choice?
Yeah. No, I'm on house arrest, dude. You want to
Are
see
you
my
really?
monitor? No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. I mean, if I play a gig or something, I'll be out. But I don't drink, so
yeah,
just being out. Nightlife, it's all about like drinking.
this is true. I don't drink. I mean, I'm not usually out drinking late. Like if we're at coverings or the IBS show or something like that, fine. But I collect whiskey, so I have plenty to drink just at my own house. So that's usually I end up doing that.
Buddy, I used to love to shut them down.
Did you?
I'm staying till the lights come on.
Tell me about that turnaround.
That turnaround is more like a turnover. Turned my car over.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
That actually wasn't even when I quit. I did though. I had a couple DUIs in my 20s, and
Yeah.
I also started my business in my 20s when I was like 28. So that was just kind of like really.
How old are you now?
33.
All right.
So that's kind of when I was like really started turning around. I was still drinking the first couple of years I was running it, and then I started getting some guys under me, booking jobs out, a few months out into the year ahead, and it was just like, all right, can't be staying out till the lights come on anymore,
Yeah.
So I mean that was it, and it was just personal choice. I craved it after work. I wanted them 2 or 3 beers because that was my routine. I have my local bar that I go to, local watering hole, and a lot of contractors hang out there. I mean, I made some good connections there, honestly, but I just find myself feeling guilty a lot towards the end of drinking, just sitting there like, man, I could not be spending this $25 and getting some shit done,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was. It's like my conscience was just wearing on me. Like, you're wasting your time. It's the voice in the back of your head. Just like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
I'm glad you listened to that voice, man, because I feel like that voice can be ignored. Maybe easily. I don't know if everybody ignores it easily, but it can be ignored for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever. So, nothing, I don't have anything against it.
No, but
just last night I was sitting somewhere. I was like, God damn, man. Some margs, man. I could drink some margaritas. We were in a taco place. I was like, I could drink the hell out of some margaritas right now. But I shouldn't. I won't. I won't do it. I was like, but I want to.
I've got a question for you about it since we're talking about it. So, sobriety is one of those things that some people, I don't know, like I'm always curious about it, about sobriety for sobriety's sake sometimes versus sobriety for safety's sake, we'll call it, or maybe convictions, or then there's sobriety for just like the straight up taste or disinterest in that. But at this time, is it about sobriety for you, or is it just about lifestyle for you?
I'd say a little bit of both, I mean, when I drink, I'd like to get there, like, let's go, and, we all got a dark side, and, I just don't like you say some things you can't take back sometimes when you've had too many. I did that more times than I would like to remember. I don't remember a lot of them, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's another problem. You say some just horrible shit, and the next day you're like, what? So it's just better for me. I guess I got a problem with controlling it. You know, some people.
So that's
some people know when to turn it off, and some people are just can't get their foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying?
I totally get that. It's
Yeah.
funny, but like I find that I ask that question mostly because like I do enjoy like I like drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
I've never Mikey G, what's up, boy? I enjoy drinking bourbon. I've never been drunk, and it's not really why I drink bourbon, and it's not why I enjoy drinking anything. So it is a genuine curiosity for me in terms of like what is drinking for people and how do they view it and what do they, you know, it's not necessarily what you get from it, but what do you want out of it? And then I am curious because like you mentioned when you drink, you like to turn it up to 11, and now not drinking. How do you then turn it up to 11 in other areas of your life? If that's, you know, was it just about the alcohol, or do you enjoy, you know, just turning your life up to 11 in other places? Is it about, you know, playing music to 11, or, you know, like, I don't know. Is there someplace else that itch is being scratched, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, man. I mean, the business is just, that's my whole life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this is my apartment that I'm in right here. This used to be a garage. This is how I got into this work, was flipping this thing. And I was like, you know what? I can make money doing this.
Nice.
But my house is completely demoed on the inside right now. The floors, we're rebuilding the reframing the floor and everything. So, you know, that's consuming a whole lot of my 11s right now.
Yeah.
So to speak. But, you know, I'll also say I am California sober. Didn't assume that about me already.
Yeah.
Based on my look. So, you know, whatever. We all scratch our itch somehow. But yeah, you know, that's it. Music, not on 11 for me anymore. It was on 11 in my 20s. That's on like 2 now.
Yep.
You know, I wish it was. I wish it still was, but it's just, you start getting older and it's just like, all right, I need to make money, damn it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been there for sure. And I will tell you, it used to be nothing in high school and college to be like, hey guys, let's have band practice 3 days a week for like 3 hours at a time.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't know how I don't know how you could do it.
Dude, I worked at a Smoothie King for like 9 years through like the last part of my teens and mostly through my 20s. And a lot of my band members worked there over the years. I mean, we'd like close down the shop at night and be like, all right, band practice. And like, now the Smoothie King is a practice room. Like, you know, it was great though. I mean, life was pretty carefree back when I was 23. It's like, I'm getting off work, I'm hitting the park, I'm climbing 20 feet up in a tree and hanging a hammock, and I got my ukulele and I'm going to write a little song. Like,
nice.
Those were the good old days, buddy. These are the good old days too. I'll look back on these in 10 years. I'm sure I'll be like, man, I had it made. You know?
Yeah, man. I'm not that much further along.
Dude, I miss those days though.
I feel like we should miss those days. You know, like there's a time and a place for everything. Like there's seasons of life, and there are seasons of life that have different things in them that you won't see again, right? Like there's things in my 20s I won't see again in my 30s, and there's things right now in my 30s I'm like, you know what? I'll probably pass those things up and won't see them again in my 40s. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to BMX, and I'd go out and I'd be around Austin, Texas, and we'd hit it. And the longest day we'd ever hit was like 7 hours, and that's just carelessly riding around town and shredding different spots and having just the time of our lives. And it's like, I don't have that luxury anymore. Not being a dad, I got my kids, and it's like, okay, well, the other day I went to the skate park with them, and I still had the tricks, and they were like, holy shit, I didn't know Dad could do this. And it's like, I didn't know I could still do it either. But the only difference is if I fall, we ain't getting paid. So it's a whole different setup now.
Basically gotta go see for osteoporosis and
stick the landing, bro.
Oh god, dude. Whole different setup.
We won't see Rob on Instagram for like a week. Like, damn, what happened?
Right?
You'll see me hobbling. I'll still be trailing shit unless I break my arms.
Oakley did that, man. Oakley was at the skate park, and he what do you do? Break his wrist, I think, wrist or ankle. I can't. Yeah, he messed himself up good. No, I got off skating. I don't know how long it's been. 20 years. I was a big skater up until probably college, I guess, is when I gave it up. But
skateboarder.
Yeah.
See, I did about 5 years skateboarding. I loved it. But then I kept rolling my ankles, so I was like, oh, I'm going to start shredding BMX. I was like, because Austin, Texas was a huge BMX city, so I was like, oh, this would be great. And within like the first month, I was hitting some trails and fucking blew out my ankle and had to be in a boot for like 3 months. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is the whole reason I got into this. But we had Empire BMX, and Tina and Tom own that shop. That's a big name in the BMX industry, and still is. And I just remember going in with my boot, and she was so cool about it. She would hook it up with like half off DVDs and stuff. It was just like, here, get inspired, you know, like, because I came in there, got my bike, got all my stuff, and then there I am, blew my fucking ankle. And I built so many bikes in there. And I was talking to Level 5 Finishing Jason the other day, and he got some new bikes because they're going to be doing a 500-mile, actual road bikes. But I was asking him, I said, are you going to have to build them? And his plan originally was to build them. Then he eventually got a shop to build them. But I'm like, man, I miss that. I miss being able to pick up every part and having the excitement of then going in and creating the thing. And that I still get that excitement with, I think, these days with tiling and then, creating content and stuff. So that's the one thing where I relate the content creating is what I'm doing is back when I would make videos for BMXing and stuff, like sync the music up and have to do the edits. And it was just, it was a different world. I loved it. And
that's hilarious that you say that, dude, because we made skate tapes all the time. We borrowed my dad's old, shoulder.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the music that I use, like when I use like some weird offbeat kind of music, it's like some old skate video music, some shit that I saw, like some niche skate video back in 2005. I'm like, dude, hell yeah, Bell and Sebastian. That song is weird. I'm putting that on my video.
I would find some of the badass jams. And that was before any like Spotify or anything. So you're having to wait till like the end credit and be like, oh, that's what it is? Sweet. Okay, Napster, like LimeWire, and like better than this on my CD. Like, oh, dude, that brings me back, man. I'm old.
Speaking of the content creation thing, how's that been going for you guys?
Trying to ramp it up.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, first of all, Kyle, you've been dancing like a maniac, and I'm here for it. I'll tell you.
I'm trying to ramp it up a little bit. I'm testing.
I love it, dude. I love it.
I'm testing some things out. I can't say it's exactly going the way I want it to, but yeah.
Hey,
trial and
my thing is you got to be having fun with what you're doing, and that's the one thing that I'm going to stay true to. Like it becomes a second job almost, it feels like, but you got to be having fun. If it's not having fun, then it's going to show in your content, and it's going to be, you're going to dread it, and everybody's going to dread watching it. And that's how I feel. So, I mean, you got to allow your personality to shine. And I love it, Kyle. You're letting your personality shine, and it's rock star, dude. It's looking good.
Thanks, bro.
Trail in air. Oh, that's great. You know, it's funny.
What about you, Ryan?
Oh man, I've been struggling. I've been on the struggle bus with my content lately. It just, I think, a couple of things. I think that the content.
Oh yeah, speaking of content, QEP. Oh, that's for you, QEP.
Too much humping. Too much humping.
That wasn't.
I didn't even mean to wear this shirt. It just happened.
Oh god.
So I had my shirt on earlier. I'm not even gonna lie, small world, but that's what I wore today.
It's called a pelvic thrust.
I'm repping my Green Bay Packers, which is these.
There you go, brother.
These are my pajama clothes, but
no, dude, one of the nicest hats I got over at Cover. This is the Latacrete Racing, and I had to fucking beg for it. I'm like, why did you have to beg for a hat? Like, come on, give me that thing.
It's so weird when I walked up to grab hats. They were like, no, you can't have these. And they
so
grabbed
weird.
a stack of 20 out. They're like, take one of these. I'm like, you couldn't have set one up there when I walked away.
Dude, I got a
what the fuck is this?
I got a Latticrete hat last year at Coverings, and I left it in my hotel room because first of all, I can't get Latticrete in my area. I mean, I would love to. I'd love to try it out, but I couldn't do it. But anyway, the content thing, like I've got so much. Oli, thank you. I appreciate you. I got a lot of other stuff going on in my life and social media and posting and my content creation. It falls to the back burner sometimes when I have other things happening in my life. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. But I got to a point where I'm so far behind. Like I have 5 months worth of content that I'm sitting on that I haven't posted anything.
See, that's the best case scenario, having a treasure trove, and then you can kind of edit. You can do so much with that, and that's where I'm still building that, because I mean I didn't start this until last November, so I think I'm on like about my 8th month. So I'm getting stuff and I'm learning. Those first couple months it was still just taking pictures, and then it had so much to do, and now my iPhone can't even take it because it's about maxed out on its memory, and I'm like, crap. Okay, so I'm gonna upgrade, get a new phone, get more memory.
250 gigs of stuff on my phone right now, and like I'm not joking. Every day I have to come home and edit videos and delete videos and save stuff to the cloud and get it off my phone, because I literally have 255 gigs of stuff on my phone, and I've got 750 gigs sitting in my cloud. So
there you go.
My phone does a weird thing where it lets me store more video than the amount of storage that it's like,
what?
It's like you have 150.
Don't trade that phone in. I don't know what kind of iPhone you got, but damn.
I'm just like, phone. This doesn't make any sense, phone.
Oh, dude, I'll be in the middle of recording something and I'll look and it'll be like, you don't have any more storage. Go delete some shit and then start again. And I'm like, God damn it. Like,
don't you hate
I'm past that point. You fucked it up.
Yeah.
I can't go back to the step. You just ruined the last 6 videos I recorded.
Thanks a lot, Apple.
They're all useless.
God damn it.
But I don't know how you guys do, but like I come home from work almost every day with more than an hour of filmed content. And then I have to bounce that down to, edit it out. But like my whole style, if you will, Google Photos, that's how I roll. My whole style is I want to show the process. So I try to document the entire process from start to finish, no matter what I'm doing. So that's a lot of content, right? It's more content. And I don't do a lot of what I will call catchy reels. I don't do short reels. My stuff's long format. And truthfully, Instagram has told me we're done with you. Like we don't like your content anymore. Like every time I post a reel, they're like, hey, this is too long. It's going to hurt your reach. We're not going to put it out. And like, so I'm like, okay, whatever. But so anyway, I try not to let that like rule my life and how I create my content, because I like to create the content that I like to create. But I will tell you, it's a struggle to put out content that gets 700 views when I have 6,000 followers. So thank you, Oli.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is I constantly look at different things, like, okay, how many followers do we have? How much reach are you getting out of your followers? How much are you getting out of non-followers? There's a lot of study within it, you know what I mean? And we're not all at the same level. So, I mean, yes, there's people like, Kip that's got 93,000 and stuff. So if you're hitting like 30,000 in your views, well, that's still reaching a third of his following essentially. Now that doesn't include any non-followers. So, I mean, for me, if I can hit that same number and still be within that same fraction, I feel like I'm still succeeding. It's hard to make a clip that's actually truly going to go viral. That's like that's like winning the lottery. It takes all the right components, and it's out of your control. You can edit and do as much as you want, but it's going to still come down to that algorithm of how it wants to feed it to the other people. And then people have to be there to watch it right away. Otherwise, if that retention's not right away, it hits the wall. And then, I've spent hours sometimes editing something, and then I put something out that literally I put together in 30 minutes, and it's done better than the one that I've spent hours on, and it's like, like I said, it's kind of a crapshoot.
Well, listen, I'm I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just old and stubborn, but I'm not interested in catering to Instagram's algorithms. Like, I'm here just going to create the content that I want to create. Truthfully, my content probably belongs on YouTube more than more than any other platform.
Yeah,
but honestly, I got my start on Instagram, and I like it, so I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
Well,
just like YouTube is just so. Who uses it? I feel like
dude, it's still been.
It's just not in your pocket like that, like Instagram is.
Yeah.
I feel like YouTube's more like, man, I really need to look up how to do something. Yeah. So I don't know. I get why you like Instagram, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know how to put it into words, but I get it.
I like Instagram. I will continue to use Instagram. And Nathan Merrill made this comment a while ago, and this really made sense to me. But of all of the platforms that are out there, and I backed off of TikTok significantly because Instagram is where the community is, and I was interested in the community.
Yep.
Oli, I'll send you my contact information. We'll chat. I'm interested in the community that's here, but and I'm going to put my content out, but here's how I'm doing it. Like, for the people who are here for my content, I put it out in stories. From day one, I have put out my long form, start to finish process content with music behind it in my stories. And that disappears every day, but I put it up in the I put it in my highlights, so if anybody ever wanted to go back and find something, they could. But I put reels out. I put out reels too, but honestly, I find that the long form content that I put out in my stories is the main driver of the content that I like to create. So I do voiceovers. Honestly, the first voiceover I did, Shannon texted me, Tile Chick, she texted me and was like, you should try doing a voiceover. And I was like, all right. And I did it on the first reel I put out of that bathroom remodel is the first voiceover that I did. And from that point on, I was like, you know what? I don't think I can not do a voiceover on my reels anymore. I put out some without them, but I don't know. I'm not really into the virality of reels. You're going to get me on a soapbox here, even though you didn't put me on it, but I'm going to talk for a second.
Go.
I have too much in my life. I have too much going on to consume a ton of content. I like to create content. I like to put it out for people, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't have the time to afford to consume a ton of content, and therefore I don't really like playing into content that just grabs people's eyes as a consumer. I feel like if I'm going to put content there for somebody to watch, I need it to be educational, because I don't feel like I have time to waste unless it's educational. So
that's your niche. That's your niche that you found, and I mean, it works for you, and it goes back to like what we talked about, with my BMX background and all of our shredding backgrounds and filming and and editing those things. That's the part where I love with the reel, where it's like I can go in there, I always go in before even recording anything and think about what I want to touch on and what I want to hit. So I mean, if I like today with that sponge, it was like I knew I wanted to showcase it. I wanted to have its fun and just have fun with it. It's harder for me if I'm gonna just leave the camera on and then have to try to make something out of it, and I don't want to do that. That's not the way I want to operate. I want to go in there and I want to know what I want to touch on. I want to hit those angles. I want to have fun with it. And that all goes back to how it was back to prior to my back days, you know what I mean? Where it was, I don't know. It just, like I said, I have fun doing it. But it definitely, there are some times where it takes a long time. And I started doing, some of those ones where it was trick shots, and it's a lot of re-editing. It's a lot of different clips, a lot of different angles, and a lot of different, and they work, but it's hard. It's fun and it's hard. I like the challenge, but I don't want to take somebody else's style and then copy it. I want to go ahead and kind of essentially make my own style and showcase it.
Yeah, editing the trick stuff. It's funny to go back and like watch like the actual video. It's just so goofy, like what went down to like make that shit happen. It's like punching the tiles onto the wall, you know. It's me.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Okay, now I just hold my hand there and I pick up a tile and I like stick it. And
I think was it?
I pick up another one, like stick it. It's just like
Oscar from OBF.
So stupid.
One of the weeks on Tile Tells with Oscar at OBF, he was talking about how his dad was watching him because he works with his dad, and he's throwing clips at the wall, you know, trying to get them to edit just right. And he's like, all I can think about is my dad walking in here and watching this, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
Fucking get to work.
Yeah. So I had my brother-in-law come out from Missouri to help me on my current project, and it's funny, but like you get used to just working we're used to working by myself and filming content. And I was trying to create a video of sliding a clip into a wedge into the clip, right? And he comes walking up into the doorway, and I'm just like, slide a clip, grab it, slide a clip. Nope, went sideways. Slide a clip. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm filming this, you know, this clip." And he was like, "Huh." And I like afterwards, like I went and looked at the video. I think I spent like 6 minutes of video, like just sending clips across the tile or whatever. And I bounced it down to like 4 seconds of edited video content at the end of it. I was like,
Yep.
Yeah, that probably wasn't worth my time, but
No.
Oh man,
No.
but it was still fun. So anyway,
Hell yeah. I'm gonna be creating some more content this week because last week I took it off and it felt kind of weird because like we didn't even have the Tile Time podcast last week, so like my kiddos were like, "Dude, you took all week off like completely," and it was kind of nice, you know. It made me feel human again, and we you know, separated. I still was on here. I was still like making stories and having fun, but I didn't have to do all those extra things. And it was, you know, this week I'm actually more excited this week to get back on the rhythm of things and to challenge myself. And I had gotten like 4 packages delivered that I had ordered. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to showcase these new tools. I'm going to have some fun with it. I'm doing this fireplace right now, so we'll get some content on there, and it's just going to be fun. It's going to be good. And then with Vegas next week, I'm going to be able to kind of detach again. So it's a good balance because I think it's easily able to overwhelm you or take over your life if you let it. And I've seen friends and I've heard friends say that, and it's like, no, I don't want to be there. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, man,
take it easy, bro.
You gotta take time to like recharge, not just your body, but your soul, your mind. When we got back from coverings, I ended up working like 5 or 6 weeks in a row, weekends too. I had a shower repair booked for like some weekends, and then just trying to get stuff done. You know, like the second week, you're kind of feeling like, damn, I need a day off. This sucks. And then you kind of hit a point where you become numb to it. You know, you're just getting up every day like, fuck it, let's go. And what you don't realize is your quality of work is declining. But you don't realize it because you're too fucking tired.
Yeah.
Or you're fucking up so much and you're just like, like it happens to me, and I'm certain it happens to everybody. But it's like you got to find that time to like really recharge yourself.
Dude, you're like batteries too. You've got to recharge it. It's how the human body works.
Every now and then, bust out 2 weeks in a row, 3, whatever, if you got it. But like, nah, like you got to find those weekends and those vacation days. Like it's important. Your work will be better if you can do it.
First of all, Mike, where are you going on vacation? And then to comment on that, like when I started doing this work, I told myself that if I can't make 6-figure income working 5 days a week, then I'm going to go back to my desk job because I don't know. I was just like, I got to a place making a good, comfortable 6-figure salary, working 5 days a week, and I was like, if I want to do this work, I need to figure out a way that I can do that. And if I have to work nights and weekends doing this, I don't know that it's worth it. Like,
No.
I can go on and do something different if I want to do that. So now I have this dumb bone in my body that's like, you're gonna get it done no matter what at all costs. So when I'm under the gun and when my back's up against the wall, I'm doing 65, 70 hours, and I'll do it. Like right now, I just came out of a season where I had 4 projects going at one time, and it was breaking me. But it was up at 5 every day and coming home at 6:30. And I got a wife, it's like my wife wants my attention. I'm literally having to edit videos every night because my phone doesn't have space to take any more on. And doing that for an extended period of time and working Saturdays, I was just like, I can't do this. I won't do this anymore. So,
No. That's what I got to constantly remind myself too. Is the same thing why I started this was when I worked before. We had 2 weeks paid vacation, and then I was putting in 6-7 days depending on where I wanted to be, because being piecework, it was motivational, and to keep pushing yourself, you make more money, you get these projects done, and I was making that 6-figure already, and it was working, but it was also, I didn't realize what it was taking away from my kids, where naturally I saw my oldest kind of struggle in school, and I said, you know what, I need to take myself out of this, start my own thing up again, because the whole reason I went to that company was because of COVID, and COVID's done, so now I can naturally get back out there, get my hands dirty again. So when I was working those 7 weeks, I did about 3 weeks in a row the last month, and that was just because the 2 projects started overlapping. I had to remind myself that don't let this become the normal, because this is what I did not want. I want to keep hustling. I want to keep making that money, sure. But the whole reason I started this was because of my kids. I wanted to make sure that they're going to have the time with me, because that's not going to be irreplaceable. Money's going to be coming here and there, depending on where we're at in our stages of our lives. But time will never come back. So if you're not making the most out of it, you're going to pay, and you're going to regret that. And at the end of this road, I've always said it, I don't want to have any regrets. So I mean, it's the one thing that I'm kind of constantly having to tell myself out of body, and it's nice. I love it, and it's been nice. Like I said, last week was a recharge for me, and we had a ton of time. We got a kitten, so we had a lot of fun.
You guys had a good family week.
It was a good week. So it was good.
It did.
Dude,
what's
that cat
name?
Cookie. Cookie is fucking awesome, dude.
That's a cool looking cat.
It's a little Siamese. We lucked out. We went to the Denver shelter, and they had an orange one. Literally 2 people in front of us when we walked in. One of the guys in front of us ended up adopting the orange cat. So we're like, oh shit. So I took him to a Petco, and that's where Cookie was. And I'm like, I had a Siamese growing up, and I'm like, we're getting this cat. So it attached to us 3 months. So it gets along. The dog doesn't give a shit. So I mean, we got Cookie and Pizza. Those are our 2 pets. So Pizza comes in the room, and she's just like, dude, this is awesome. And the cat's doing what it needs to. It's like, so small. It's staying up and making sure that it ain't gonna get eaten, but no one's freaking out. So I'm like, this is great. It's good, and the kids are loving it. So I mean, it's a really good. I love it.
Ryan, you're a dog dad, yeah? You got 2?
Yeah, man. We've had 2 dogs for, let's see, we've been married 17 years, and I think we got a dog in our 2nd year. So 14, 15 years we've had dogs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a cat guy. In fact, if we keep going on about cats, I'll probably say something I regret, just because.
See,
I don't love them, but I've learned to like them more over the years. I think my aunt's cat traumatized me as a kid. She had this shit cat that would hide in the kitchen under the microwave stand, and you had to walk through the kitchen to get to the stairs to go upstairs and hang out.
Okay.
Little fucker always be like, and get you.
What's your dog's name right there?
My dog?
Yeah,
that's Bosley.
Nice.
As long as it's not a snake, I cannot handle snakes, and like I think I was 3 or 4 at the time. But my cousin, he had a big ass python, and he had moved out. The thing hadn't been fed in like a week, and my mom was cleaning their garage, and I remember being in the house alone, and I turned around, and that motherfucker was like up and ready to fucking like get my ass, dude. And I was so small at that time. I ran out there, and it traumatized me. And I'm like, nah, dude. So I don't like snakes. I can't dig them.
I think snake people need cow. I don't think that's a
yeah.
Nope.
My buddy Scott.
No.
My buddy Scott. He's a musician here in town. You should look him up. He's going places. He's like cool folk rock, but he's got the craziest girl stories. And my brother's ex-girlfriend, one of her friends had moved down here from Ohio, which is where we grew up, and she kind of like goth chick, you know. And Scott was like talking to her. Scott was like sneaking, like talking to these chicks on the sly, like, "What, dude? You hung out with her?" "Yeah, I banged her." Like, what? You know? It's like, dude, you went over and hung out with that girl? She's weird. He's like, "Oh, she's super weird. She had a snake crawling around in the bed with her." I'm just like, bro, what? Get out of there. He's like, "Yeah, I'm never going back." Don't.
No.
But he's got the craziest girl stories, and that's one of them. Check his music out.
Fucking funny, dude.
Dang.
Now, for me growing up, I lived with my great grandfather and my great grandmother, and my mom as well. But we all lived with them, and they wouldn't allow us to have dogs. It was their one thing. They had dogs prior, but they had always thought that they need to be outside in a fence area. They'd always dig up out of the fence. We had 2 acres, so it was always old school is right. He was the colonel in the Air Force, so he was the man. But he would tell us no, we had to have cats, and we had cats, a bunch of them. And finally, when I moved out was when I got that little whippet, and I had Sophia for so long, and she just passed, I think, like 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. And then that we got Pizza back when my second kid was born, and this dog's awesome. It's a little Australian Shepherd, and I say little, she's huge, and she's we got her. She was supposed to be the same size as the Whippet. That's what the animal shelter said, and now it's like, nah, dude, she's like more like a German Shepherd size, but she is the most protective dog to those kids, and it's the best feeling. Like, I'll run around and try to chase my kids. Next thing you know, that dog is just nipping at me, and it's like, fuck you, dude. I'm like, hey, it's okay. Like, we're friends, you know, like, it's all good. We're just playing. That's what I want.
I love my dogs. And, you know, it's funny. I'm a dog person, but I'm not really necessarily, I'm not always an other people's dog person. Like,
yeah,
I like my dog a lot, but I've got 2 acres. And our dogs are outside all the time. I bring them in when it's extraordinarily hot, and I bring them in when it's extraordinarily cold, just to sleep in the garage, you know, in the entryway or whatever. But like, they're outside dogs, they're farm dogs, they're just, you know, wild.
But you have that bond with them, and that's what makes you love them. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what you're saying. You know, compared to the others, I'm the same way. I'm not going to look at just any dog and be like, "Oh, dude, that's the dog. I love it." You know, and it's like, no, it's because
they're like kids.
It is what it is.
You don't like everyone's kid. You like your kid. Fucking kid away from me.
Yep.
Man. Nailed it. Well, do we got any other questions on let's see, anything come up on the Instagram questions? Ryan, you've been awesome on this.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun
awesome. Honestly, I loved getting to meet you at Coverings. It was an honor, and I cannot wait until the next time we all get together and just kind of enjoy and continue the story on. So that's going to be the best part of it all. And that's where
I'm going to tell you a story. Years ago, I went to what was this? It was the National Conference for the Associated Builders and Contractors. So the ABC is a large Builders Contractors Association, real similar, I would say, to Coverings, but just for general construction.
Okay.
But I met a guy there that owned a company. He was out of Arizona, and he had been going to this conference for 25 years, and he brings his wife every time. And he plans his whole year around being able to go to this conference. And I remember talking to him. I was speaking at this conference, but he said that conference and getting to know those people, those are like, that's his community, because all of the other owners of construction companies that are in other cities of his size are going to this same conference. And he said, I got to know the other people that are in the trenches with me. They're not my competitors in my local market necessarily, but it's a vacation for him. But he just treated this thing like it was just part of his business, was to go to this conference. Honestly, that's how I started to see coverings after my first year. I was like, we're all sole proprietors, or most of us are sole proprietors. We work for ourselves or by ourselves. And I know, like, I treat Instagram like as my little window to the world. I get to see people and meet people online. But the chance to go to coverings has been a really big boon for me, just in the sense of connecting with the community of people that I see online all the time. And it gives me a sense of like place in the industry. It gives me a sense of camaraderie and hanging out with friends. So like, honestly, I can't sell it high enough, and I don't get paid to say that. It's just
it's so true.
I just think it's really important. I think it's important for guys like us. A lot of us in our 20s and 30s, even me getting into my 40s, like, I think that's that sense of community, and if we can build something that will last multiple years as best as we can, like, I think that'll give us longevity and more time in this industry than if we're out there on their own, kind of getting out.
I agree the exact same way. When I look at coverings, and I told Morgan, my friend, the other day, and she was asking, she goes, I've never been to coverings, and I'm saying, well, it is the exact same thing. I said, it's an awesome thing to see everything there, but it's to me, it's marketing. You're going out, you're getting to meet friends that you've met online, you're getting to hang out, get to see everybody, get to know them. But then on top of that, you're also getting to meet these companies. You're getting to see what they have first off, getting to meet them. They get to know you. You're not just this face on the internet. And there's so many things that open up to you when you get to go down there. And I don't know. I love it. I'm going to make sure from now on, I've always wanted to go to Surface, and I just learned about coverings, honestly. And which is crazy because that's the biggest one. And it's like, but for me, like you said, that's going to be my number one go-to every year. I'm going to make sure I can go there. I tell everybody, they're like, oh, you're going on vacation, you're going there. And I'm like, it's not really vacation. We're going and we're still marketing. We're still working. Sure. There's night times we're having fun, but it's still work.
I will find a tile shop no matter where I go. Write the whole damn trip off.
Not it.
This was work. I came to Italy to look at tile, damn it.
Next week when I go to Vegas, the guys I'm going with, they're all in the construction field. So we're going to be talking about different avenues and how we can expand. So off.
We're going to Florida in August just to go. And I'll be seeing a lot of tile guys, okay? And that's business, buddy. Okay.
Hey, you're going to be staying with Chris.
Who are you seeing down there?
So, I think we're going to stay with Chris for a little bit, the KBRS rep.
Yeah.
And hoping to link up with Danny.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get to see Danny, and Danny's my boy.
Vincent.
And just all of them. Mario, Phil.
Yep.
Will Haynes, I don't know where he's at. He's not like real big on Instagram on here. He was just taking a little break, but I was talking to him today. But I like that dude a lot. I don't know if you guys follow him. We Style Tile.
No. That's cool.
Will, I don't know if you're watching, but he sounds like the turtle off of fucking Finding Nemo. He's like, hey,
dude.
But all the guys, man, see Leon again. So
I'll say, see Leon, dude.
That'll be great. So that's business, buddy.
It's business. Fuck yeah, dude.
I gotta write this trip off, dude.
Hey, they get enough money from us, and it's not like we're doing anything dirty. It is what it is, and it's like I said, that's the beauty of it, and you're able to market yourself and expand yourself.
Yeah, my old man's a songwriter, so that's what he did my whole life growing up. So it's the same as being a contractor. He's self-employed. You got to learn how to write damn near everything off that you can. Yeah, and don't be afraid to do it.
Well, I assume with him too, you got to learn to constantly be able to talk to everybody because you never know what the next avenue could bring you. You know what I mean? So that's the cool thing I love about this Instagram community is it's like I've already been, like I said, all season. They invite me out there to do a project with them. I'm going to be doing a project with Amos, and it's like I wouldn't have had this option if it wasn't for Instagram. But having that as this, it's beautiful. Why don't we use this to our advantage? It's
kind of back to what you guys were saying earlier. You know, like being when Ryan first was doing that tile job, he was like, "No, this sucks," and then you know, Instagram kind of lit that fire under him. It's kind of how it was for me. Like I was just doing bathroom remodels off of like some stuff I'd like learned off of another guy that I worked for a little bit, plus you know my own skills I'd built. And I was building a lot of Hardy Backer showers, and you know, cement board is just hard to work with, and it was getting old. I was getting burnt out. I hadn't seen that next level of tile, you know, like what you can really do, you know. And so I was just kind of, my showers look good. They look good. They weren't incredible. They didn't blow your mind. And so then like kind of getting into that, and you know, like you guys were saying, seeing like the cones and the different bits, like, whoa, you can like, damn, I can clean. It's a new challenge, you know. You felt like you kind of hit the apex before, and then it's like, oh, next tier, I see it now, and I see how to get there. I'm gonna see if I can do it, you know. All right.
And honestly, that excites me. You know, it's funny, but like coming from my background in search or like recruiting, what I was doing before. So many companies out there are struggling to find people who want to work. They just are. Like people with a good work ethic, the people that want to invest themselves in the work that they do and to actually learn from it. I'll tell you, I've met more millennials or people of my age in this industry that are kickers of ass, right? Like there are so many people that are out there doing this work, getting their hands dirty, working hard for a living, and wanting to learn more about it. Like they're out there. Most of us are out there on our own, not working for somebody else. But honestly, there's a lot of it, and I think that's what keeps us. That's what keeps a lot of us, especially the ones who are invested and involved online. It keeps us invested in this industry because we're seeing some of that stuff coming out. We're using a lot of those new technologies, and I think it's driving our industry forward now.
Well, we're also willing to adapt, and that's the nice thing, you know what I mean? Because when I project managed, I had guys that were older than me that either resented me because I was younger and I was their boss, or the fact that they just were not willing to adapt. They were set in their ways, and that was the way they were going to do it. They were not going to be told otherwise. And it's like, no, for me, dude, I constantly say, if someone's going to teach me a more efficient way that's going to give me the same benefit or a better result, then why would I not take it? Why would I not learn? I'm holding myself. It's stupid, you know what I mean? But I've had guys, like I said, that would fight me over it, and I don't know. To each their own. I can't live with myself if I'm not doing the best job I can do.
I can't cut a corner, man. If I forget something, if I pour leveler and forget to like prime the floor or something goofy like that, that isn't even like super crucial, but they've sold us on it.
Yep.
I'll kind of lose my mind over it, but it's like I got to move forward. Like there's something I can do about it now.
I literally called my Ardex rep yesterday, and I was like talking about priming before I poured leveler on top of leveler again. I was like, yeah, I'm calling an expert.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't. It kills me to like.
Oh man, I used to stay up late at night sweating myself because I'm like, did I do everything the right way I should have done, or should I have done it differently? You know, and I still have that every once in a while where it's like, okay, but like you said, that's the beauty of this whole Instagram is you're able to connect with these reps, you're able to get those answers, you're able to resource other people's mindset. Before not even having any of that, it was up to the University of YouTube, and you're checking videos out, and you're like, well, this is how this guy's doing it, and it's like, it wasn't the same, and I don't know, I love it. Like the other day when I was putting that wonky mat, I was able to get a hold of Marcus right away. And I was like, hey, Marcus, tell me, what you think right now. And it's, he gave me the answers within a day. And
I
I've
just
got
ordered
on
100.
that.
I just ordered 195 square feet of the permat.
You
What
did?
do you think of it?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I just ordered it. It's not here yet.
Oh, you ordered it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
I love working with it.
I just did a bathroom with it. Two things. One, in a bathroom, I hate that it's not a waterproof mat. So like when you're putting it outside of a shower, if you want any sort of waterproofing, I just put down like a strip of band basically right outside the shower, and I was like, we're gonna call that good. So that's one thing I hate about it. The other is it drinks thinset like crazy. Like it's just got it's all porous, right? So it just takes a ton of thinset. However, and the other thing is the it's a two-edged sword, but it coming in those mats, it's really nice to not have to deal with a giant roll, and you can just slap it and go. But those mats, they get on my OCD radar because there's like all these places for squish out of thinset, and for some reason that just bothers me sometimes. So anyway, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'll continue to use it.
Yeah,
but what I really want to use is the Secumat though, the membrane uncoupling membrane. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now is that the one with the drainage, or is that the one that
Is that
Trimat?
No, so Blanqui Secumat, it's thin, just like let's just say the Schluter membrane.
No, they sent me a bunch of shit the other day.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it out.
I got it.
It's
this one.
Yep, that's it. The Secumat. It's the
Got
white
it.
one with the blue grid through it, and that is an uncoupling membrane. So you can set tile on that right on top of hardwood or on top of wood floors or on top of concrete. And that is an uncoupling membrane. So if you get into a situation where you need a super thin transition,
that thing is.
That's it.
That's
beautiful.
That's like a six.
The tri-board's what they just now released over at
30 seconds.
I know, right? What is that one?
This is the tri-board. This is the one they released over at Coverings. So I would say less than an eighth, maybe closer to a 16th. It's pretty thin, but it was strong as hell. So personally, I haven't got to use anything besides the the permat right here. But I don't know. I didn't mind it. It worked good. Like you said, it does drink thinset like crazy. Having to use a 1/4 inch trowel. I used it on that 1,100 square foot. I mean, I ended up having to order another pallet of thinset just because it took a ton more than what I had originally thought it was going to until I realized what I needed.
I got
it is what it is.
Tile coming up, so I'm not gonna double the subfloor. So
yeah,
well,
the
permat
will work super good for that.
That's what
Hey, gents,
I just love it.
I'm gonna have to sign off here in a little bit, but before I do,
we're good, brother. We've been on for about 2 hours. You're on the Eastern time. You got to get some sleep, man.
I was gonna see if I could show Kyle these guitars. I don't know if I can turn.
Yeah, dude, let's see them.
How do I turn the camera around on here? Do you know?
Nope.
I have no idea.
Are you on your phone? Oh, dude.
Dude, that's pretty.
That's a beautiful
That's pretty.
Man.
So I'll start over here. This is the Gibson that brought me to North Carolina. That's the Gibson J185.
There you go.
Custom.
Yep, the custom-made Gibson.
That's pretty. That's a pretty getter.
Oh.
This is the one that I play most of the time.
The Gretsch. Got that big old Gretsch whammy bar.
That's right. I really enjoy that one. That's a fun guitar to play.
I had a big Gretsch jumbo body acoustic.
Oh yeah.
But
and then that's the Gibson ES137. That one's like a 2006. And I don't play that one a lot, but honestly, it's because that's an angry guitar. Like, it just wants to be cranked up to 11 all the time, and it just wants to make tons of noise. And then I got a few others over here in the corner. We got a cello. I got a few basses. I got probably 2 that aren't here, and then I got an organ that I got off of my great aunt.
I used to have an organ like that. We used to keep it in the carport and just like fuck around. fuck around on it in the morning before we go out to a job. Everyone used to meet here in the morning before we go to a job. So we just be out
nice.
at like 6 a.m. like dun, 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 dun. It's all out of tune. Sound like terrible like spooky circus music.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Dude, people just give those away like crazy in Nashville.
Dude.
If anybody wants one of those organs.
No, I was gonna say that's a Wurlitzer music maker, and it's a 1967, I think it is, and she bought it new, and it's on eBay for $150. Like it's not worth anything, but
Yeah.
it's sentimental, I guess.
Yeah, the one I got for free.
Yeah.
And then I put it on Facebook and passed it on to somebody else. And they probably put it on Facebook like 2 months later and passed it on to somebody else.
Hey, living a life.
This is funny, but like I didn't realize this about myself, but years and years and years ago, I used to collect baseball cards, and then I got out of baseball cards and I got into collecting Pogs, and I collected
Oh, fuck yeah.
I collected Pogs for a long time, and then after Pogs, I started collecting Pokemon cards. I collected Pokemon cards for a long time. And then I got out of collecting stuff for a long time. And then I realized that I had started collecting guitars. So I think I have 6 or 7 guitars and like 4 basses. And after my wife shut me down on guitars, she was like, "You can't buy any more of those."
Tools.
About 5 years ago, I started collecting bourbon, so I've been collecting bourbon for about 5 or 6 years now, and that's
There you go.
Nice.
So
I've always
my
collected.
most prized. This is my most prized possession. It's the Jack Daniel's 10-year batch 1.
Yay.
I don't know if you got one of those too, brother.
Yes, sir.
See,
I'll have one.
I was so happy to pick one of those up, and I still haven't opened it. It's sitting up there. I'm like, that's my go-to, though. I mean, I haven't, like I said, one day I'm gonna eventually either open it or I'm gonna resell it, but it's just sitting up there and enjoying itself.
Oh,
God, look at that collection,
I guess I just rolled over 150 bottles of unopened.
brother. That's awesome.
It's a problem, but it's
See, for me, I love the Japanese whiskeys. Those are the ones that I found a real good passion for. The Suntory. I've got the Yaka. Oh God, let me see.
The Yamasaki 12-year.
Yes, that's the one I got. The 12-year, and that one I love.
That's a
12-year.
good one.
This thing is great. It tastes great. It's smooth.
I've got a cool bottle. I'll be right back. Hang on a second.
Fuck yeah.
I got a bottle too. Hold on. If I can find it.
Oh, dude, what is that? That is sick.
Yeah, it's a Yamato decanter bottle. Like the head pops off it.
Dude, that is ridiculous. That is so sick.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun one.
Did you pick that up locally, or how'd you get that? Lottery or what?
No, I found it here locally. It's a Japanese single malt, but I mean, I don't know that it's nothing crazy. I find that I pretty much open and drink all Scotch, and I collect bourbon. I probably have 50 bottles of open bourbon right now, but I like to collect it. So
I can't find. I can't.
Have you opened your?
I got this like 20-year-old bottle of ketchup. I was trying to find unopened. I still got it's like this big, dude. My mom got it for me for Christmas, and I was like,
"Fuck yeah, bro!"
That's awesome.
The ketchup is brown inside. I can't find it, guys. Maybe next week.
Hey.
But
well, Ryan, I really appreciate
my love too.
Ryan, this has been awesome, man, having you on, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's been a pleasure to be here.
Cheers.
Thank you all.
We're going to have you back on if you want to do it. We'll have some either at the end of the year or next year. We're going to do something pretty fun and creative. So we're going to be approaching a lot of people about it. Nice. It's going to be kicking off around January. So me and Kyle have got an idea. We're going to kind of keep it top secret up till getting closer. And then, we'll do something fun. And it'll be...
Hopefully it works out. I hope it's not a bust.
Oh, dude, it's good. No, dude, it's going to be a hell of a good time. I think it's going to be, it's something nobody's touched on yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So it'll be good.
All right. Well, count me in. I'm there for it.
But
bye, Faye.
Cheers, brother. I appreciate you and your time. This has been amazing. We've been on here for about over 2 hours and it still feels like we just started. So, I mean, you're an awesome guy, man. I can't wait to see you again.
We could go another day, but let's call it a night. Hey guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you having me on here. Thanks for everybody who has been in here in the video. I don't think anybody is on here now, but that's all good. So
hey, we had a bunch, so it was good.
Peace.
Peace, Ryan.
All right, guys. Take care. Thanks. Hey.
Yo.
Cool. That was a good one.
Hell yeah, man. That was smooth. What is this? Oh shit.
Hello. What'd you get?
Bucky tool.
How you doing?
I love all the
dude, you got a Bucky tool?
I love all the free shit I'm getting lately.
Hydrotel sent me fucking 2 on accident. And I'm like, I ain't saying shit, man. I put one on the shelf.
They gave me one at Coverings, but I think there's like.
I remember you saying that, and I was like.
And when they were like, "We want to give you one," I was like, "Yeah, I met you at Coverings." And the video that I put of him on my story is even still like in the message. Maybe he can't see it, but I was just like, fuck it, yeah, send me another." Maybe I'll give one away.
I commented on something. I was like, "Oh, dude, I can't wait to get mine. This is gonna be great." That's all I said. I didn't say like I was getting a free one. He's like, "Hey, don't say anything like you're getting a free one because people always then hit me if they want a free one up and all this." And I'm like, "I get it, dude. I don't ever say anything like that."
Oh no!
Fuck yeah, dude! You got a couple.
They sent me 2 of them. Dope. One to keep, one to give away.
I know that's what I'm gonna do with the other Hydrotel. I'm like, either we'll give it away on here or something, but he asked us to like collab on Randy's post today. I don't know if you saw that, but I was like, yeah.
What's that?
Oh,